Hello everyone, I welcome you all to our Creator Tech Connect series for the month of January. So before we get started with our session, a quick confirmation from you guys if my screen is visible and if my voice is audible to everyone. If that is an yes, please give me a quick confirmation. Yeah, thank you for that quick confirmation. Alright, so I hope it is visible and I am audible to everyone. Yeah, alright. So let's get started now. So I once again welcome you all to our Creator Tech Connect series for the month of January. So I hope many of you are already familiar with what is Creator Tech Connect series is. But if we have any new participants to our session, then here is a quick introduction to this Creator Tech Connect series about. So Creator Tech Connect series is a month-on-month series where we will be talking about different technical concepts that we have in Zoho Creator platform. Right. So as a result, for this month, we have chosen the HTML and ZML concept in Zoho Creator. Right. So with the help of HTML and ZML, we will be learning how we can develop and build an intuitive UI and UX. Right. So that is something that we are going to look into this particular session. So before we get started, I would like to turn off my video so that it will gives you a better screen visibility. And before we get started with our session, here is the quick, I would like to introduce myself. Myself Niveta, and I'll be the trainer for the session. And also we have few housekeeping rules that needs to be followed throughout the session. So all the attendees will be on mute. If you guys have any questions in between the session, you can use the question tab to post all of your queries. And if you would like to rewatch this particular session, we will be sending the recording to all the registrants post the session. And also we will be conducting few polls and survey during and after the session. So we would like each and every attendees to participate in those polls and survey. So let's get started with our session now, and here is the agenda for our session. So we will be starting our session with a quick introduction to what is snippet in Zoho Creator, and then we will be talking about the ZML concept in Creator. So how we can use ZML to design dynamic layouts, right, along with Deluge concept. And followed by that, we will also be learning about the HTML concept in Creator. So how we can use HTML to build custom dashboard within the Creator application. And within HTML, we will be learning how we can include the Deluge script to build an effective dashboard. And once we understood these concepts, finally we will be delving into the live demonstration where we will be exploring all these features in the live. And at the end of the session, I'll be giving few key insights and the best practices that needs to be followed for these features. Right. So this is pretty much about the agenda, and I hope this is clear to everyone. So let's get started with a quick introduction to snippets concept in Creator. So what is snippets? Snippets are nothing but it is a reusable piece of code or a predefined scripts that can be inserted to your applications to perform specific task or a function. So and then we have three different types of snippets available. So one is ZML and the other one is HTML, and then we have the embed option. Now talking about the ZML is the Zoho's markup language, which will allows you to create different elements within your dashboard. And then we have the HTML. So I hope many of you are already familiar with HTML. So HTML is hypertext markup language, which will again allows you to create custom dashboard within your Creator application. And then we have the embed option. So this embed option will allows you to embed an external element to your application, right? So these are the three snippets which is available for you to use. And in this session, we will be looking into the ZML and the HTML part. Right. Let's talk about the ZML concept and how we will be designing the dynamic layouts with the help of ZML and Deluge. Now, ZML is the Zoho's markup language, which is Zoho's proprietary language, which is used in the Zoho Creator platform. right? So with the help of ZML, you will be able to create and structure pages within your Creator application. So whenever you would like to create any custom elements inside your dashboard, you can use the ZML script to create one, right? And where you can use ZML and how you can use ZML. So once you create a blank dashboard, so you will be landing into the page builder, right? So in the page builder, you will get to see the different elements starting with panel, chart, gauge, search, form, report, snippets, button, widgets and the viewer. These are the currently available elements. So within these elements, we have the snippets. So once you choose the snippets, we will get to see the three different snippets, ZML, HTML and the embed. So from this option, from this particular element, you can choose the ZML snippet. Right. So now let us understand what are all the key features of ZML. So ZML will allows us to build various page elements. So as I mentioned earlier, you can create different page elements with the help of ZML, and also it will allows you to arrange those elements in a display structure, right? So, so you need to arrange the elements in an ordered and in a displayed way, right? So that so for that ZML will help you to do so. And also once you create the elements, then you need to add any descriptive and any logical properties to the elements, right? That is also possible with the help of ZML. There might be somewhere you need to do the formattings to your content that you are adding within the elements, right? So that is also possible with the help of ZML. So now that we learned what is ZML and what are all the key features of the ZML, now there might be a question arising in between yourself. So why I need to use the ZML, right? So to use, there are several purposes to use the ZML within Zoho Creator platform. So this ZML will ensure the seamless functionality across browsers, mobile phone and the tablets. So it will basically adapts elements like panels, buttons and charts to any device automatically, which means you can create one particular element and that particular element, it's going to adapt to different devices like mobiles and the tablets. So it's not required for you to go ahead and create multiple elements to each and every different devices. Instead, you can just create one element and that particular element can be used across different devices, right? So this basically saves time, right? So it will particularly save times by save the time by creating only one element and to use them in the different devices. And also it delivers a consistent experience across all the different platforms effortlessly, right? So the basic thing that you need to know why you need to use ZML is, once you create a particular element, that element can be used across different devices. So the compatibility will be perfect when you use these elements in different devices, right? So then let's understand the structure and the ZML tags, how we need to structure the ZML tags. So here you can see we have used the Angular tag along with the percentage. So we have opened and then here we have closed, right? So in this particular part, you will be using your Deluge script. So for example, let's say I would like to fetch a particular information from my form and to populate that in my dashboard. In that case, I'll be using the fetch syntax, which is the Deluge script, right? So that is something I'll be adding it over here, right? So I'll be writing my Deluge script on this particular place, and followed by that I'll be writing my ZML tags. So here we have panel tag, the PR tag, PC. So PR is nothing but the panel row, and then we have the panel column, then panel element, and then we'll be closing all the opened tags at the end, right? Now let us look into the detail of all these tags. So talking about the panel, so this panel tag defines the primary container like structure that holds different data, right? So here you will be defining what type of element that you are creating, and that particular element is going to act as a primary container, right, with some specific data. And then we have the PR tag. So this PR tag is nothing but it is the panel row. So once you create a panel, with in every panel you need to define a logical row, right? So that is something which will be happen with the help of PR tag. And then we have the PC tag. So this PC tag is nothing but the panel column, where you will be defining a logical column within the every panel row that you create. So each and every panel row will have different columns, right? So you will be creating the different columns. And then we have the panel elements. So panel element is the place where you will be adding the text, images or buttons, and also every panel can hold one or more of these elements in it. So once you create a panel, the panel can have a text, a image, button, all three together, or they can have only text. So they can have one or more elements that you wanted to include in your panel, right? So this is the ZML tag. So these are the basic ZML tag that we need to know. Let's understand the HTML concept and how we can use the HTML in Creator platform, right? So before understanding how HTML works in Creator, let us talk about what is HTML in general, right? So HTML, as we all know, it is the hypertext markup language that helps you to define the structure and the appearance of the content in your web browser. So basically, with the help of HTML, you will be able to design your websites, right? So this particular markup language serves as the foundation for all the websites, and to do the different stylings, we will be using the CSS, and to make the website more interactive, we will be using the JavaScript, right? So this is about the HTML, a quick introduction to HTML. Now let's understand what is HTML and how we can use HTML in Creator. So in Creator, whenever you would like to create any custom element, or whenever you would like to create any tables, or whenever you would like to design your dashboard, you can use the HTML code. So this HTML code can have any reusable code, or it can also be any standalone code, right? So then you can add different elements like list views, styled button, text displays, or even the custom search bars. So basically, HTML snippets are small portion of the HTML source code, right? So with the help of HTML, you can easily customize your dashboard. Now, how we can use the HTML and where we can use the HTML? You can go to the page builder and the edit mode of the page builder. You can choose the snippet, and from snippets you will get to choose the HTML snippet. So all you have to do is just drag and drop the snippet to your page builder, right? And talking about the HTML tags along with the Deluge script, so this is going to be the HTML tags. So as I mentioned earlier, to add the Deluge script, we will be using this Angular tag along with the percentage, and between this we will be adding the Deluge script. So this is again a fetch syntax where I can fetch any data and populate those data in my dashboard. And then we will be starting with our HTML tags. So we will be starting with the body tag, the division tag, the paragraph, and in between, whenever you would like to use access the value, you can call the variable where you have stored the values over in a particular variable, and then you will be closing the respective tags that you have opened. So this is the basic structure for the HTML, right? Now, in today's session, we have taken a use case which is the sales management application, right? So, as we all know, in every organization there will be a separate department for the sales, right? So, where these sales people will go and pitch for any to generate new leads to the organization, right? And also it is very necessary for them to track all the leads information and the deals information, and also they need to have a track of their of how many are how much revenue that they are generating, all those, right? So we have created the sales management application, and within the sales management application I am going to create a dashboard which is specifically for the sales representative. So where the sales representative will be looking into their details alone, right? So their details like whatever the deals that they have closed and what are all the deal statuses, and then the activity logs. So here the deal, I am going to display the deals information in a table form, and then the deal status. So every deals will have different status, like whether they might be a new deal, or they might be a qualified deal, or even they might be a converted deal, right? So that is something we can check within the dashboard itself. And then we have the activity log. So activity log is the place where the sales representative will see the counts of how many calls, how many meetings, how many emails that they have attended so far. So we will be displaying the count of all these different activities within the dashboard, right? So this is something that we are going to create in our today's session. So let's go to the live demonstration and we will try to do this in the live. So right now I am into the creator dashboard, where I will get to see all the different applications that I have created so far, and along with the different features, and if I click on the create solution, I will be able to create different solutions, right? And here you can see I have created a application which is the sales management application. Now this is the application that we are going to use in this particular session. So as soon as I choose the application, I am landing into the dashboard, where I am able to see different set of informations all together in one single screen, right? So, so there are different panels available, and there are different tables, and there are different charts are present, right? So this panel contains the total deals information, the count of sales activity, and the total amounts. And in the deal status, I am also able to see how many lost deals are there, and how many new deals, how many qualified, and how many and overall the total count I have over here, right? Along with that, I also have the quick links, where if I click on this particular panel, this will take me to the specific action, or it will redirect me to a specific form. So here I have just added the add new sales activity form. So if I click on this, it will take me to this particular form. So this is again which is built with the help of ZML. And then I also have another table where I can see the ranks of the salesperson, right? So whenever I choose a particular month, so let's say I am choosing the January month, and based on that particular month, I will be able to see the salesperson, and these salesperson will be ranked by 1, 2 and 3, and also I can see the percentage of the target that they have achieved, and the actual sales and the target sales, right? So similarly, I can also go and choose the February month. Whoever has achieved the target, those persons details will be listed in this top 3 rank. So this is something that I have achieved with the help of HTML, right? And then we also have another bar chart which represents the deal status and the amount that they have closed the deal, right? And here I have the distribution by lead. Again, this is the bar chart. So this is one particular dashboard, which is the admin main dashboard, where the admin can only view this particular dashboard, right? Now the next is we have other forms and reports. So I'll quickly explain you what are all the forms that we have. So we have the deals form, where I'll be able to add the different deals that are being closed by the different leads, right? So I can choose the respective lead, and I'll be choosing the sales who is responsible for this particular lead, the sales I'll be choosing the respective sales sales representative, and the product that they have chosen, and the deal status, whether they are new, and the amount for what amount they have quoted, and the notes, and I have the closed deal closed date, right. So this is where I'll be having all my deals information. And then I have the sales activity. So this sales activity is the place where I'll be having all the different informations, like how many calls or how many emails, how many meetings that the sales representative has done so far with how many leads, right. So that is something will be tracked over here. And then we have another form, which is the contacts form. So with the help of this contact form, so now let's say we have one lead, we have one company, and to contact the company, we will be having one POC, which is the point of contact, right. So there will be one individual person who will be in contact with us, right. So I'll be adding their information into this particular form, which is the contacts form. And then I have the leads form. So leads form is where I'll be having all the company information, right. So the company name, the industry, the job title, the source, and the status where I'll be choosing whether they are new or converted or the qualified. And then we have the database for the sales representative. So I'll be adding different sales representative information along with the monthly target that they will be assigned, right. And we have the product inventory, where we will get to see all the different products that we are serving. And we have monthly target as a separate form, where this is the main form, and I have just used the existing subform within my sales representative to display the monthly target within this particular form, right. So now these are all the different forms that I have. So the dashboard that we are going to create is for the sales representative. So I have already created the dashboard. I'll quickly show you. So this is the dashboard that we are going to create. So I can see, you can see we have different panels and the table, and then we have another panel, right. So this panel is consisting, this panel holds the data, which is the greeting message and along with the email address, right. And this table has the deals information along with the lead name, the product name, amount, status, activity log. So whenever I would like to check a particular deal status, all I can do is just click on this track deal status, and this will show me the deal status, whether they are new, qualified, or converted, right. And then in the activity log, I'll be able to see this particular person's activity logs, how many calls and mails and the meetings they have attended so far, right. Now this is the dashboard that we are going to build in the live mode, right. So for this, I'll go to the edit mode of the application. Now from here, I'll just click on the add new, and I'll choose the page, and it's going to be from blank, and the page name is going to be sales representative dashboard. Let me say sales representative personal dashboard. Now I'll create this page. So as soon as I create, I'll be landing into the page builder, where I'll get to see the different elements of the page component, right. Now within this element, I'll be choosing the snippets, and in the snippets, I'll be choosing the ZML snippet. So all I have to do is I just need to drag and drop the snippet over here. So as you can see, as soon as you drag and drop, here is where you will be landing. So here is where you will be start writing your ZML script, right. So on the top, you can see we have the deluge syntax, deluge tag, and then here we have the panel, right. So right now here I am going to create the ZML tags. So now I'll say panel, and the element name equals to panel, So since I'm going to create the panel, I'm just declaring the element name as panel, right? So I'll show you here. So this is the first part. So this panel is the first part that we are trying to create now, right? So I have declared the element name as panel within the panel tag, and in the next line I'm going to create a panel row. So panel row with the width of, I'll just say fill, and then I'm declaring the height. Again it's going to be fill. So here the panel that I'm creating, right? So I'm defining how much the width should be and how much the height should be. So width is where it will fill all the horizontal spaces, and height is where it will fill all the vertical spaces. And below I'm going to create a panel column. So each and every row there will be a different columns, right? So here I'm defining the panel column. So I'm defining the padding, which will helps me for the spaces, and then I'm going to declare the background color is equal to. So for color I can just Google for the color codes and I can just choose any of the colors to my panel. So right now I'll just choose this particular color, and within the single quotation. So whenever you are assigning the value, that should be enclosed within the single quotation. Alright, I'll just copy this. So this is the color code, and the next is I'm going to declare the width of the column, which is going to be 100%, and the vertical alignment and the the horizontal alignment and the vertical alignment. So here I'll say H alignment equals to center and V alignment equals to middle. I will close this. And the next part is, once we have created the panel and we have just did all the stylings like adding the color, width and the horizontal alignments, the vertical alignments. The next part is going to be what needs to be added inside the panel. So I'm going to, so since we are going to display these information, so I'm going to create a text tag. So in order to create the text tag, first I'm going to open up panel row. Since I'm going to create since we have two different values in two different rows and columns, so I'll be declaring first panel row, and then we'll be declaring the another column. So within this I'll be adding this particular text saying color equals to, so I'll just give a color, I'll choose this particular color, and this should be given inside the single quotation. And the size, it is going to be 36 pixel. And the next is, I'm going to have this text in the bold, so I'm giving bold and saying true. Then the type is, I'm just adding a text to this panel, right? So the type is going to be text. And the next is value. So we need to add the value, what value that you would like to display, right? So here I'm going to say welcome and I'll close the open text tag. Right. So here I have given a static value which is welcome Nivetha. And in the next line I will be closing the panel row and the panel column. So it's always necessary for you to close the tags whenever you are opening one. So because that's when the system knows that this particular tag or this particular structure is ending right there, right. So again I'll be having the panel row. So we have closed the panel column and the panel row over here. Again I am going to open another row. So in the another row I will be having this particular value. So for this I am creating another row, again saying tr panel row, panel column and the text. So I am displaying a text again, right. So I am declaring the text tag over here. I will copy this line and I will paste them over here. So I will change the color for this. I will just paste them over here. And the size is going to be 16 pixel. I am not going to give this in the bold. And the type is text. The value, inside the value I am going to add the email address of this person. So I am saying nivetha@zilker.com and I am closing the text which I have opened. So now we have created two rows with different values, right. The next part is obviously we need to close the opened panel row and the panel column. And the panel row, and initially we have opened two tags, right, PR and PC tag to have the element, the panel element. So I am closing that as well. Closing the panel column, I have closed this particular tag and again closing the PR. So now let's check, this is our code to create this particular panel and the information. So now I will save this. I will go to the live mode now. Okay. So right now you can see a panel is created with the value that we have given, welcome Nivetha and the email address of this person, right. So now you can see we have created a panel with a static information. Now what if I would like to create a panel with a dynamic values, right. So on that case, to create a dynamic values, we are going to use the page variable and page script concept. So where you can find them is, if you go to the edit mode. So in the edit mode on top you can see the page variable and page script, right. So from this, so with the help of page variable, I'll be able to create, I'll be able to create different variables, and these variables can be used inside my page script and the page elements and as a parameters to pass the values, right. So now let me create a variable. So I'll just create a variable saying name, because I'm going to fetch the name. So the name is, I'm going to fetch the name from the sales representative form I have. So here I have the sales representative form, right. Since this dashboard is specifically for the sales representative, I'm going to fetch the sales rep's name. And this particular variable is going to hold the text value. So I have given the data type as text. And in the next I am going to give the email. So because we are going to fetch the email address, so again it's going to be the text. And now once we have created the variable, the next step is going to be, we need to fetch the data, right. We need to fetch the data and we need to store the data into this particular variable. So for this I'll be going to the script. And in the script I'm going to write the fetch syntax. So I'll be typing for fetch records, and here I'll be declaring a variable name, and the form that I'm going to fetch the information is the sales representative form, and here in the criteria I'm going to say if the sales representative email is equals to Zoho dot, I'm using the Zoho variable, which is the Zoho dot login user ID. So what I'm doing here is, if the sales representative email and whoever logins to this portal, the portal or to access the dashboard, if their email ID matches with the sales representative email ID, then I would like to fetch that particular person's name and the email address to display in the panel. So now I'll call the variable which I have created, which is the page variable, and now I'll store the fetched value from this particular form, which is the name, and again the email equals to fetch dot email, right. So I am storing these data, sales representative data, into this variable, and I am using this variable to get the name and the email, and I am storing it into my page variable, right. So now once we create these page variable and the once we fetch the data with the help of script, the next step is you're going to call this page variable inside your ZML script. So how you can do that? You can just go here. I'll just remove this name, and I'm going to use the dollar symbol along with the flower brackets, and inside this I'm going to call the page variable, right. So to call the page variable, this is how you should define it. You should use the dollar symbol and the flower bracket. And then I'm also going to fetch the email address, right. So for this again I'll be using the same syntax, which is the dollar symbol and the flower bracket, and inside this I'll be calling the page variable, right. I hope this is clear to you. So you have created the page variable and you are inserting those variable inside your ZML script to fetch the data dynamically. So now I'll save this. Now I'll go to the dashboard that we have created. Yeah. So right now you can see it is showing welcome Alex Lee along with the email address. So the email address is the logged in person email address. So right now I have just logged in with my email address, as you can see it over here. So it is showing me the the logged in user's email address, and this particular person is there inside the sales representative with this particular email address. So I'll show you that. Yeah. So right now here you can see the name and their email address, right. So this is basically how you will be able to create a panel, and you will be displaying different dynamic values, right. So this is something that I would like to show, and the next part that we are going to do is we are going to create another panel to display the activity logs of this particular user, right. So let's check how that can be created. So I'll just close this, and now I'll go to the snippets. I'll use ZML snippet. So right now here I have the ZML code. I'll just copy this code and I'll paste them over here. So I'll give a quick walkthrough of this code. Alright. So the next part is, as I mentioned, we are going to create this particular panel which holds the activity log information, right, calls, email and the meeting of this particular person. So now I'll go here and I'll quickly explain you this code. So right now here we have created a panel, and we have declared the panel row and panel column and what needs to be, and the different stylings that we have given within the rows and the column. And then we are declaring one particular text, which is the activity log. So this is the text that I have given over here to this panel, which is the activity log, along with the size and the color that I have defined. And in the next row and in the column, I am going to give another text where I will be declaring and where I will be fetching the email or the email calls and the meeting counts, and I will be displaying something like this. So these designs are all these designs are created over here with the help of these panel rows and the panel columns, and in the text I have just declared the color of the text, the size of the text, the whether it should be in the bold, and I have declared the font and also declared the background color. And here comes the main part. So you need to give the criteria, right, because you are going to fetch the data from you are going to fetch these data from the activity log, right. So what I have given here is, in the criteria I am just comparing two different values. So if this particular sales activity, which is the form, which is the sales activity, is the form, so from that form we have the sales representative, right. So if I go here, the sales representative form, I have the different sales representative. In the sales activity form, I have the different sales representative over here, right. So here I am just fetching the sales fetching the sales representative detail, the name, and I am going to compare that with the input.rep ID. So the comparison is happening with the help of the sales sales representative form that I have it over here. So with the help of this particular ID, I am comparing and fetching the information. So if the sales representative ID matches to this particular ID, then I should fetch the different activity logs of that particular sales representative, right. So now here this input.rep ID, again this is a page variable that I have created. So I am fetching that, I am creating the page variable and I am using that in the script as well. So I will just quickly create the page variable, which is, I will just give a name saying rep ID, and this is going to be in the number. Since the ID is in the number, I am defining the data type as number, and I will be using them in the script. So input dot rep ID equals to fetch dot, I am fetching the ID, right. So I will just quickly refer the field link name from the sales representative form. Now I will save this. So again I will just quickly drag and drop this ZML snippet and I will copy paste the code. So as I explained earlier, so we in the criteria we are just comparing the two different values and fetching the call details of that particular sales representative, and we are fetching the value from the sales activity log form, and we are getting the count of that particular activity, right. So here I have just used the page variable that I have created with the help of input.rep ID. Right. So the same step follows for the other two activity which we have, which is the mail and the meetings. So I have done all the I have just opened all the columns and the rows, and in the text I have defined the criteria where I have defined I would like to fetch the email and I would like to display the count in the panel, right. The same goes for the next as well, which is where I am fetching the meetings count of that particular sales representative, right. So this is something which I have achieved with the help of ZML. So now I will just save this and I will go to the dashboard. So right now you can see the activity log as the panel heading, and along with that I'm also able to see the different activities like calls, email and the meeting. So so far this particular person has done 2 calls, 2 mail and 2 meetings, right. So these information can be seen in the sales activity report. So I'll show you that. So as you can see here, Alex Lee has done 2 emails, and he has also done 2 calls, and then he also done 2 meetings, right. So you can just find the data over here. So these data is something that we have displayed it over here, right. So this is one way to display the information with the help of ZML, right. The next thing that we are going to look is the other table that we are going to create to display the deals information, which is this particular table, where I'll be able to see different data for the lead name, the product, amount, status and the activity log. So right now I'll go to the edit mode again. I'll close this. I'll use the snippet and I'm going to drag and drop the HTML snippet. Now here I already have the HTML code, so I'll just copy that code and I'll paste them over here. Right. So I'll quickly explain you this code. So here the first thing is we are going to create a table, right. So I have just created a table over here. Yeah. So I have just created a table, right. So as you can see, we have declared the table row and the table cells. So the table I mean in the table cells we have given the table header name, which is the lead name, the product, amount, status and the activity log. So as you can see here, these are all the table header: lead name, product, amount, status and the activity log. So I have declared I have declared the table header. So now once we create the table, we need to fetch and show the information, right. So how we are going to fetch the data? So we are going to fetch the data with the help of Deluge script. So as I mentioned earlier, whenever you are using the Deluge script, it should be declared on the top of your HTML script, right. So here I have used the fetch syntax. I have declared a variable and I am fetching the data from my deals form. So here I have the deals form, right. So since this particular table is going to contain all the deals data, I am fetching the information from the deals form. And here I am fetching it based on the criteria, which is if the sales representative email is equals to zoho.login user ID. So I would like to display only this logged in users deals data, right. So I have declared this criteria and I am sorting the data based on the added time, and I am going to sort and show them in the descending order ranging from 1 to 5, where I am going to show only the top 5 deals of that particular representative. So here I have just given the added time. So instead of added time, I will just go with the amount. So I am going to display the data in the descending order, and this descending order is going to happen with the help of amount, right. So I'll just choose the deals form, and within the deals form I have the amount. So I have just pasted the amount details over here, and then we have the so once we fetch these information, the next is we are going to do the we are going to define the class, and these we are going to define the stylings with the help of CSS, right. So for each and every styling we will be declaring the different class. So as we all know, in HTML a class is the attribute which is used to group and identify the elements with the same styling or the behavior. So here I have declared different class names. So you can see div embed container, and here header div and the header text. All these are the different class name, and under each different class name I have declared different stylings, which is height and then the width, height, background. All these are the different stylings that I have grouped together into one single class, right. So now these class can be called inside any of the tables, and whatever that you are going to create, you can call them, and those stylings will be shown for that particular table, right. So here the for to create the table, I have just declared the class name order status table. So if I check for the order status table, this is the class name, and below that I have just given the stylings with border, margin and everything. So that will automatically apply to the table, right. And the next part is I have used the if condition, and with the if condition I am just getting the count. I am just getting the count of this particular data that I am fetching, right. So based on the count, it should not be equal to 0. So that I am just fetching all the information, right. And below that I have declared the table, which is I have already explained, and then we will be having different records, right. So there will be multiple records all together, and with one single record there will be different records. Like if I choose this particular record, I'll be able to see different details like lead, sales representative, products, right. So within these record, I would like to fetch only few of the details, which is going to be the company, the lead's company name and the product name and the amount. So for this I have used the for each statement to fetch a particular detail from a record, right. And in the next steps, so I am just fetching these data, and I am displaying it over in this table like this, right. So these data will be displayed over like this, and here we have the status and activity log, which is represented in the link form. So if I click on this particular link, it will redirect me to a particular page or particular form, right. So in order to represent these data in a form, in a link form, I have used the anchor tag, right. So with the help of anchor tag, I have just called that particular report. So here you can see we have the activity log. So whenever I click on this activity log, it will take me to the activity logs report, right. So that is something I have achieved with the help of anchor tag, right. And I'm just opening the tag, I'm opening the activity tag report, the activity log report into another tab. So for that I have declared the target as blank, right. So you can see we have used the activity log as the activity log as this name for the header. And the next part is so once we show all these information, so what if there is no record present at all? So on that case, I have used the else statement, where I will be showing if there is no data is present in that particular form, then the result will be shown as no deals to show, right. So this is something where I have used the else statement, right. So this is all about the table that I have created, and I am fetching the information from the deals. Now let's check how this looks in the live environment. So this is the dashboard, and here you can see we have created the table, right. So you can see the deals information, the lead name, the product, amount, status and the activity log. And if I click on this particular activity log, it will take me to the activity log report, right? So this is something we have achieved with the help of anchor tag. Now the next part is we have the status, right? So if I click on this particular if I click on this particular lead status, it should show me the status of the deal, whether they are new or they are they are qualified or they are converted lead. So that information should be shown within the same dashboard. In order to do that, I am going to create another HTML snippet. So I'll close this. So what we are trying to do now is, if I click on this particular deal status, it should show me a timeline view, something like this, right? So this is something that we are going to create now. So I'll be using this snippet. I'm just dragging and dropping it over here. And now I'll just copy paste the link that I have over here, the code that I have over here. And now, as you can see here, we are just trying to create a timeline, right? So here again, I have just created a different timeline step. So we have different status, right? So I have used the if condition. So if the status is new, then I would like to perform these different steps. So before this, I'll quickly explain you the fetch concept that we have used over here. So we are using the fetch syntax to fetch the deals ID, and if the deals IDs are equal to whatever the leads that you are choosing in this particular dashboard, if it is equal, then I would like to display the status of that particular deal, right? So I'm storing those fetched data to this status variable and the name variable, and these data I'm fetching it from the deals form, right? Now here, as you can see, we have something input.lead. So wherever you are using input.lead, that is going to be that is something that you are creating with the help of page variable. So now I'll quickly create a page variable to display, to call them inside my Deluge script over here. So I'll just cancel this. I'll go here and I'll create the lead variable, and this is going to hold the number data type. I'll drag and drop the HTML snippet again. So I have called that particular page variable with the help of input.lead, right? And then I have did all the different stylings where you can see with different class name. So greeting, timeline heading, container, timeline before, timeline step, all these are the different stylings that I have done, right? And below that, I have used the if condition, and in the if condition I have just declared the division and the class name is timeline. So for this particular timeline class name, we have different set of stylings, which is position, margin and the width, right? So here in each and every div, I have used the different class name with different stylings, right? Since we are creating the timeline, so this is purely based on the stylings, right? So I have declared, I have used the different class name that I have declared in my CSS. So here you can see again in the heading we are giving the heading as new, right? And also in the if condition we have declared if the status is equal to new, and we have to give the new heading over here, and I am giving a description saying, we will just give a description. So the description will be shown something like this. So under the status you will get to see the description. So here I will just say deal is in initial stage, and below here also I will change it as deal is qualified. and here deal is closed successfully. Right. So, these are the descriptions that I am giving. So, since we have 3 different statuses, and every deals might fall under any status, right. So, here you can see, so the first stage is the first status is going to be new. So, once they complete the initial stage, they will then be moved to the qualified stage, and then they will be they will be converted as a the deal will be converted, the deal will be closed, right. So, these are the 3 different statuses. Now, if I choose this particular lead's name, so if I choose them, this particular lead falls under the new status. So, in my first criteria, I have just given if the status is equal to new, then this particular tick mark we have here, right. So, we have this tick mark. So, this particular tick mark should be shown, and the status should be shown as completed. So, if this tick mark is shown here, then this particular status is completed, right, and then it should be considered as a completed, and the remaining status should be unmarked, which is unchecked, right. And the next condition is, if the status is qualified, the new status should also be marked as completed, along with the qualified status is also should be completed. Only this converted status should be unchecked, and then the final status is converted. So, inside the converted, all the 3 status should be marked as completed, right. So, this is something that I have done. So, the major thing that I have used here is all the thing that I have used here is the class name. So, we have already defined the class name in the CSS. I have just used that class name over here. Even for this particular tick mark and this green color background, I have declared them inside the styling itself. So, if you see here, we have the timeline step completed as the class name for this particular tick mark, right. So, this is again a very simple and easy HTML snippet that we have used to display a timeline structure like this. Now, I will save this script and I will go to the live mode and I will show you how this is representing. Okay. So, whenever I choose the status, it should represent over here, and as you can see, these two are 2 different HTML snippet that we have created. So, right now what I will be doing here is I will be copying this particular page name, and I will go to this particular HTML snippet. I will just close this. This is the HTML which we use to create to display the deals information, right. I will go to the configure, and over here we have used another anchor tag to show or to open to show the deal status within this same page itself. So, I am just copying this particular page link name, and I will paste them over here. So, and the target I have given here is the self, where it will open and show the status within the same page itself, and here the name that I have given for the for this I have given a name, right, which is the track deal status, right. So, now I will save this. So, if I go to the live mode, if I click on the track deal status, it will show me that particular deals status, right. So, as of now, the STU limited is in the initial stage, which is in the new status, and XYZ Corp, if I click on to see this particular deal status, I can see that they are in the qualified status. And for the MNO, as you can see, they are new, they are qualified, and they are also converted, right. So this is basically how you will be creating a timeline structure with the help of HTML, right. So with this we have reached the end of our session. So I hope this is pretty much clear to everyone. So how you can create a HTML table and how you can create a timeline structure with the HTML table to display different set of data, right. So with this we also have, I would also like to share few key pointers. So whenever you are using the HTML snippet supports up to 500 KB of code or 4,50,000 characters. And and the embedded reports in HTML snippets. So if you are embedding any reports with the help of HTML snippets, that particular report will not be appear in the downloaded PDF. So you will have the option to download the page as the PDF format, right. So here if you go, you can see the PDF option. So if you are if you are if you are just downloading it as PDF, this particular report will not be downloaded. And the PDF export is not supported for the pages with over 10 million characters including the HTML tag. And also pages with forms reports embedded via the div tag or authenticated content, for example the images and the CSS, that cannot be exported. So whenever you are having any images or the CSS inside your HTML tag, when you are trying to export them, that will not be supported, that will not be exported, right. So please keep this in mind while you are using the HTML snippet inside your Creator application, right. So this is something that I would like to show in this particular session. Now if you guys are interested in the widgets concept in Creator, so we have planned this widgets concept to showcase in our upcoming the next session, which is going to happen in the month of February. So we are going to talk about the widget concept and how we can extend the application's capability with the help of widget, right. So if you are interested to know more about this particular session, you can use this QR code to scan and register for our session. So this particular session is going to happen on February 13th, which is next month, 9 PM to 10 PM IST. Right. So also the registration link will be shared in the chat tab by my co-trainer. You can access the link from there and you can register for the session. So again, this session will be very much helpful for you to know how exactly the widget concept works in Creator platform, right. So then we also have our another free webinar, which is the learning table series, where this is a series which is the webinar series, where we will be taking different industry use case for 12 months, and we will be showcasing the application which will be developed with the different use case. So for the next month, we have taken the logistic as the industry, where we would have already built an application with the logistic industry use case, and we will be showcasing that particular application in this particular series, which is the learning table series. So if you guys are interested to learn what are all the different industries use case that you can take within the Creator platform, then here you can use this QR code to register for this particular session, and you can attend them, which is completely free. And this is going to happen on February 6th, 9 PM to 10 PM IST. Right. Also, the registration link will be shared in the chat tab. You can access the link from there and you can register for the session. And then we also have our another webinar which we have planned for the Deluge, right. If you guys are really interested to learn the Deluge scripting language, then this webinar is for you guys. So we have planned this webinar for the for the upcoming week, which is January 28 to 30. This is going to be a 3-day session, which each day consisting of 1 hour, which is we are planning around 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So in this particular webinar, we are going to understand all the different Deluge concepts, right? So if you are interested, you can just scan this QR code and you can register for the session. Also, the registration link will be shared in the chat tab. You can access from there and you can register for the session. So you can easily learn Deluge with the help by attending this webinar, right? And if you guys are interested in learning more about Zoho Creator platform, then we have our dedicated online training where we have 2 different trainings, which is stage 1 and stage 2. So in stage 1, we will be covering all the basic concepts in Creator, which will be happening for 3 days. Each day each day consisting of 4 hours. So we have our upcoming online training planned for the next week, which is 21st to 23rd. It will start by around 10:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. If you are interested to learn the basic concepts, then you can register for our stage 1 online training. But in case if you wish to learn more about Creator, more advanced concept of Creator, then we have the stage 2 online training for associate developers. So this is something we have scheduled for the upcoming, followed by this particular session, the next week, which is January 27 to 29, and it's scheduled for the time which is 10:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. IST, right? So these 2 sessions will be very much helpful for you to begin as a new user to Creator platform to an advanced user to a Creator platform, right? So the links will be shared in the chat tab. In case if you are interested, you can register for the session. So with this, we have reached the end of our session. So if you guys have any questions regarding to this particular topic that we discussed today, you can post them in the question tabs so that my co-trainer will be happy to answer all your questions, right? So thank you everyone for actively participating in each and every webinar that we conduct for Zoho Creator. And if you guys have any queries related to training, you can reach out to us at training@zohocreator.com. And in case if you guys have any questions related to the certifications, which is the Zoho Creator certification, you can reach to certification@zohocreator.com. In case if you need any Zoho Creator platform support, you can reach the support@zohocreator.com. And also we are conducting a poll where we would like to know where we have a specific channel, which is the click channel, where we will be posting all the different webinars that we are conducting in Zoho Creator, all the updates of the webinars, trainings, and as well as the any new session that we have planned. All those sessions updates will be posted in the click channel. So if you guys are interested, you can just choose the appropriate answer in the poll so that we will be adding you to our click channel, right? So you will get to know all the different updates from us. That's it from my end. So if you guys have any questions, you can use our question tab to post any of your queries, right? Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for participating in this webinar. I hope this session was very much helpful and useful for each and everyone that you have participated, right? Thank you again.